Hello everybody, David Essery here. I wanted to do a video today to talk a little bit about a subject that's been on my mind quite a bit recently, in particular because of the Soul Reclamation Pathway workshop that I've been running with Team Wild. And it's a particular word that it wasn't part of my day-to-day life really. It wasn't something that I heard very often. But all of a sudden, a couple of years ago, lots of people within the spiritual kind of community started talking about it at the same time. It's not something I've ever really covered today. But as I say, it's been on my mind a lot, and that's sovereignty. So what does it mean? The definition of sovereignty is supreme power or authority. So really, that's our own individual sovereignty is about stepping into our power, our higher self, our master self. And that's, of course, is what the whole point of this journey, this ascension process has been about. And it really is the year for it this year. But I think, within that, there's probably lots of definitions that different people work to. To me, when I think of sovereignty, what I think of is about taking control of our own lives and stepping into our power. Because the sad fact is that, in modern society, we live in a very controlled world, really. We have our government that tells us what we are and aren't allowed to do, what we should be doing. We have our doctors telling us what we should be doing with our bodies, what we should be putting into our bodies. Often recommending surgeries and things like that can change our lives forever without ever really, discussing the side effects. And the sad fact is that most people will just happily accept that because it's what they're being told by their doctor. It must be right. It must be the best thing for them. We have the media telling us their version of the news that's in the world, wanting us to believe their version of their story. We have advertising companies always telling us what we should and shouldn't want in our lives. They're telling us, if you buy this, it will make you happy. You need to have this in your life. And they that's the wording that they use. They really make it feel like you need to do these things. And, we live in as I say, this kind of controlled society where we have become, sadly, as a species, completely disempowered to make decisions for ourselves about what we want for our lives. And it is our lives, and modern science is supporting this really, that they're starting to see that the world around us really is a hologram. And that is because that our individual world is made up by our experiences and our perception. The way that I see the world is not the way that you see the world, and the way that you see the world is not the way that Joe Bloggs sees the world. We all have our own individual world that we make around us that dictates how we live. So how could someone else possibly tell you what is right for your life when they don't know anything about you? They don't know your mind, they don't know your body, they don't know your soul. The truth is they can't, but yet we live in this world where that's constantly what happens. So how do we take control of that? How do we break through this system of control in order to kind of make decisions for what is right for our lives? And that's not an easy question, because the reality is, we still have to live in this world. We still have to pay our taxes. We have to abide by the laws. We have to have, to a certain extent, the medical systems that we live within. We need to a point. How do we live within this world but still know our own mind and know how to make the choices for ourselves? Before I kicked this off today, I checked in with my team just to see if anyone had a message for us, and the incredible Archangel Michael stepped forward. I want to share with you his words on sovereignty. True strength comes from the heart. It is fueled by truth and love. It brings passion, confidence, and the inner knowing that all can be achieved when one directs the inner God and sends it forth into the outer with strength and intent. This you have within you, my beloved. Literally, the full power of the great Godhead flows through the threefold flame of your heart and makes itself manifest through your actions. So why do you look to the outside world for your sense of direction? Why do you seek guidance from those appointed into leadership through corruption and darkness? If you hold the power of God within your hands, why not put it into conscious action within all of your daily activities? When the wisdom of the Almighty runs through your heart, why do you listen to those less in tune on what should and should not be? Sovereignty is your natural state of being. It is just for you to remember who you are, and then show it to the world. I promise you, my beloved, when you do, the universe will take note. And when this state is achieved by enough earthbound souls at once, your world as you know it will never be the same. Yours in divine recognition, Archangel Michael. Thank you, Michael, for those beautiful words. So, he's talking there about the threefold flame of the heart. It's something that I mention from time to time, but I've never really talked about in detail. But essentially within us, within the very center of our heart chakra, exists the threefold flame of heart. And this is basically the light of God that exists within every single one of us. It's the spark that gives us life. Without it, we wouldn't exist. When we die, it travels back up the Antakarana bridge, and the body, this vehicle that we're in, just turns to dust. It is life, it is who we are, but it is God. It is pure, unbridled light of God. And it's called a threefold flame of the heart because it has three plumes within it, three little flames that kind of intertwine and dance with each other. It has a blue flame, which is the power of God. It has a gold flame, which is the wisdom of God. And it has a pink flame, which is the love of God. And with that, we have unlimited power, essentially. When you ascend, when you become an ascended master, it's because you have fully activated and kind of inflamed. The flames grow bigger the more you come into alignment with this truth. And that's what becoming ascended master is essentially about, is it's accepting this truth and stepping into that power, knowing that power, allowing it to flow through you. And that's, it is that power, it is the power of God that gives ascended masters their abilities to, manifest from thin air, to fly, to walk through walls, all the different kind of superhero-esque type things that we know of them being able to do. It comes because they have that power within them and they accept it. What Michael says in this message, if you hold the power of God in your hands, why not put it into conscious action within all of your daily activities? Why can we not just know that we have this power? If we accept that, if we focus on that, we allow that to flow through us and flow it into every single action of our lives, there is nothing that we cannot achieve, because it is infinite power. It says, when the wisdom of the Almighty runs through your heart, why do you listen to those less in tune on what should and should not be? We have the wisdom of God within us. Why do we not listen to the inner knowing that we can tune into at any time? Why do we look to others in the outside world for guidance on what we should and shouldn't be doing in our lives? And this is true, for looking at governments, for medical professionals, whatever, wherever we're just accepting truth from without looking within, without using our discernment to know what's right. The reason why I do videos, the reason why I'm talking to you today about sovereignty is, what I'm telling you today is my experience of sovereignty based on my world, which is my experiences. That may mean that it's not right for you because your world is different, your experiences are different. It may be that some of what I say resonates with you and you can take that and make it a part of your world. Or it might be that none of it does, and that's okay too. That is absolutely okay, because that's what I'm saying here today, really. You have to decide what's right for you. You have to make your own decisions so that you can take control of your own lives. And as Michael says right at the end of the message, when we accept that, when we step into that power, when we're thinking it for ourselves, when we're acting with the strength of God flowing through us, when this state is achieved by enough earthbound souls at once, your world as you know it will never be the same. And that is the truth, that's the point, that enough people stand up and go, no, I don't, that's not right for me. I think things should be this way. And then other people that maybe aren't as far along the journey will go, okay, you know what, actually, I like that. That resonates with me. And they stand up and join in. And when enough people do that, the world will be completely changed. But of course, what I'm talking about is just words. We all, if you're here, most likely know that, the power of God flows through you, that you have that potential. But how do we tap into it? Why are we not all ascended already? And really, I think that comes down to a couple of things. A big part of that is the Alta Major chakra, which sits at the back of the top of the head. It's a pure white chakra, and it sits just where the skull meets the top of the spine. And historically, in 3D, this has been a massive entry point, basically a connection to 3D matrix. If you just feel it and take a moment to feel into it now, you may become aware of a big bundle of cords which attach at the back of the head here. And these are connections to the 3D matrix. And this is how a lot of the, we're fed information on the way that things should be. A lot of the mind control techniques happen from within that space. Thankfully, over the last couple of years, we have come, at least those of us that are actively doing the work and raising our vibration have come a long way with that. But a lot of the masses are still quite deeply connected there. And, this all kicked off in 2022, what Tim Wilde and I were calling the year of the Alta Major, where, of course, lockdown, stuff like that happened, and all of these things really started getting brought to the surface. And collectively, as a planet, we did a lot of work there on the Alta Major, a lot of disconnections happening, and the 5D unity consciousness was established. This is an energy field that expands around our planet, where, once the 3D connections of the Alta Major fall away, we begin to connect into the 5D unity consciousness. And this is a place where we all can connect and almost act like a hive mind, where we're thinking for the highest good of all. We're no longer thinking of the needs of the individual, we're thinking of the needs of the many. And again, that's a huge jumping point into the point that we change the planet forever when we are in that state. But for the minute, a lot of those techniques are still happening there. And, another big part of this is, of course, the development of the throat chakra. It's one thing for us to all be able to start to think for ourselves, think independently about what the best thing is for us. But we need to be able to stand forward. We need to be able to, say to the world out publicly that this is not right. This is, there is a better way of doing this. And as I say, that's when other people start recognizing. That's when people who are in positions of power that are going through that wake up process will develop the strength through the power of their throat to speak out about the way things are. And then the more individual people are waking up because they're disconnecting, the more they'll start to recognize those people that are speaking truthfully and supporting those people. And that is where the planet changes. We are really, truly in an incredible space right now. We've got a really, really powerful year ahead of us. I talked about the year of the Alta Major. Last year, I would call it the year of the thymus chakra, where we had those massive, massive high heart activations around the Lion's Gate, and more people started to wake up. Although it is happening, more and more people are awake, we're not seeing it publicly so much because of that throat chakra thing. This year, however, I believe is going to be the year of the solar junction chakra. These, of course, are the 3 additional chakras that were added to the 12 chakra system a couple of years ago to make up the new 15 chakra system. The solar junction, of course, is the connection to our monadic presence. That's why we're stepping into this, the highest version of ourselves at the moment. This is what this sovereignty is all about. And isn't it a really, really exciting time? It's such an important subject at the moment. And that is exactly why this Friday, the 16th I am running a workshop called Finding Your Strength Within. And it's designed exactly to overcome the challenges of what I've been speaking out in the video today. We're going to do a lot of work on the alter major, clearing away the connections there. We're also going to do a lot of work on the mental field, helping to break down those mind control techniques, getting us to a place that we can begin to think for ourselves. We're going to do some work on the throat chakra to help clear that, to help us speak our truth from within. And then we're going to do a lot of work to really truly recognize the power of God within us and learn techniques in order to kind of embody that and channel that energy. Because, you know, it's such an important time now for us to step into ourselves. You are capable of doing absolutely everything that, you know, that you put your mind to. It's just a case of knowing it. You know, we live in an age where information is all around us. If we want to find out how to do something, it's very easy to achieve. We just have to develop the mindset to be able to step into that. And a big part of that is recognizing the strength that we have within us, so that we don't give our power away to others. We don't, you know, expect other people to fix our problems with us. We're not constantly seeking guidance from others. We can come to a place where we find it within. We're not accepting false truths from others. You know, we're using our discernment. We're recognizing what's right for us, and we're accepting that into our lives. I'm hoping it's going to be a really beautiful experience. In fact, I know it's going to be a beautiful experience. And I think, you know, it can bring quite powerful shifts at such an important time right now. So if you feel like joining me for this workshop, you can find out more on my website. I'll pop the link down below and you can sign up and book a place there. I would really love to see some of you there. It should be a really lovely night. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. I post regular videos about stuff like this and lots of meditations and stuff like that. I'd really love to have you as part of our community. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope whatever you're doing, you have a beautiful day, and sending you so much love. Bye-bye.